Here we are, take 3 of Frosty Dingy. Okay. Flounder and Caged Dolphin here. Kobe, let's try this again.
We don't know how long your phone will last. So either way, it's fine with me.
Let's try the low mode and let's see how this goes. I promise I'll do my best to stay in frame. What I do know is I can't do any worse than operations manager Scott.
I don't think anybody can be that bad. I really don't. I think he takes the cake on the amount of movement that you can have in one video while you're trying to record a face.
Yeah, as long as you don't count me going to check my Boston butt down the smoker. That was a lot of movement that day.
you stayed in camera better than Scott did while you're walking around with your phone.
I tried. It was a lot of effort on my part.
It is not his strong suit. I will give him that.
No. All right. So what we got going on? What's going on? How you doing?
So we started off with your trying to describe the. Hold on a second. All right. Well, it just threw me a fucking code up there saying that your network is being a asshat, but it said there's nothing you can do. So what the fuck are you telling me? But we were talking about your old Cleveland Browns in London.
Yeah. Yes, we were. Werewolves
and
in
it
London.
Looks like they're tied 7-7.
Yeah, I haven't turned it all back on yet. I was watching on my phone, and I had to switch this to my phone, so I haven't got it back up yet. Unfortunately, you'll see when you get the video, looking more at my computer screen right now than the feed screen because I'm trying to get my game back up.
Well, by all means, get your game back up.
And it looks like it's happening now. So we're good to go. I'll probably have to turn down the volume, but I got good noise canceling
headphones.
I got pretty good noise headphones, so I should be all right. But
so how is old Gabriel doing today? Is he looking like he's the future of your franchise?
Well, this is probably the worst offensive line we have had in a long time. And it's not that the players themselves are bad. Our tackles aren't good. We've lost both our starting tackles, which anytime you lose that, 40% of your offensive line, things are going to be rough. I can't make any kind of excuse with that, though, because I believe Minnesota is using a practice squad guard as a center today because they don't have any centers on their roster. And, of course, they have spent the last 2 weeks over in Europe, so they can't really couldn't really sign anybody or give them tryouts, and they didn't want to fly them across the fucking ocean to do a tryout. So they're rocking the practice string guard. Say what?
I said, especially when they're playing the Browns.
Well, I mean, we're 1-3. We're about where I hope. I mean, my hope was after 6 weeks we'd be sitting at 2-4. Which if we win today, we could be there. So that's my hope.
Carson Wentz isn't the best QB, so you do have a shot at it.
Yeah,
I think as long as
JJ McCarthy's obviously out.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm feeling hopeful. Gabriel's doing fine he's doing fine. He's doing good as you would expect for a rookie behind an offensive line that is just basically one step above you and me at this point, maybe. I mean, like, they're still professionals, but like he just got sacked again. They rushed 3 and got home. They're just crashing the edges. We can't do any. Okay, yeah, they just rushed 3. Our left tackle just completely whiffed. He didn't touch the guy who got the sack. Like, should have been his man. He's completely lost.
He threw the old lookout.
I don't even think he gave him that much of a block. It was almost the hotel revolving door. But Gabriel just made a real nice pass there to Jerry Jeudy. So, like I said, the guy's got skills. He played a lot of games in the college football. He's I think he could be fine. I think he's got potential. That's all you can hope for. There's a lot of people who, well, they should have gone with Shador. Let's be honest. Shador was a 5th-round pick for a reason. The Browns
I agree.
drafted Dylan Gabriel ahead of Shador for a reason because they liked Dylan Gabriel. Um, and liking quarterbacks is all subjective, and so I think Dylan Gabriel's job right now is to keep the starting quarterback job. That's going to be incomplete. It just hit the ground. And if Dylan Gabriel continues to win games, that's the only thing I care about. If he continues to win games, then I have no will to see Shador Sanders because we're winning games, right? If we continue to lose games, and then I think we need to give Shador a chance because he's a lottery ticket. He really is. He was a guy that we took in the 5th round, who has got good talent. We'll see if what he can do in the NFL maybe someday. But my hope is
His
Dylan
performance
Gabriel
right now,
gets
I think
Dylan.
that's a good time.
Say,
His performance up
say
till
that again,
now,
please.
I said that his performance up until now does not show that he has good talent. It shows that he likes to hold on to the ball too long, tried to do too much, and lose extra yardage by trying to force plays.
And he did that throughout college. He never had a good line in college, and that was a byproduct of that. That was a byproduct of him having to try to make plays behind a line that didn't exist. So to me, he will be a project. He's got a solid base. Like he's a solid piece of clay. There's solidity there behind him. I think he's something you could build up to if he wants to. I don't think I mean, everything you would want, I believe, is there. It's just a matter of getting him to go and do it, I think. And at the same time, it's going to be really hard to break him of the habits that the people don't like when you have an offensive line the way we do right now. So it's kind of a twofold problem there. I don't think, honestly, if we get to the point where, if Dylan Gabriel is not winning games and they go to Shador, I don't know how much of a fair chance either one of them honestly will have, because with this line right now, what the best you can hope for is, the best you can get.
Well, I'd hope you the best you can wish for is the best you can get out of any offensive line, not just yours. Oh, but no, I honestly don't think that Shador is the future of any franchise. I just don't see it. I don't know how he got his jersey retired at Colorado. I don't know how he didn't drop farther in the draft. His head game is ultra screwed up.
Well, I mean, let's be honest about it. The way he got his jersey retired at Colorado was Dad was a coach. Made Dad happy. The way he didn't drop any further in the draft is the Browns said at a 5th-round pick, yeah, we'll take a chance at him. So that tells you, I mean, he's got talent, because everybody has talked about, hey, we don't like where his headspace is at. He he told teams that, Baltimore wanted to draft him, and he basically said, I don't want to be behind Lamar. I'll never get a chance. That tells you, that tells you where he's at as a player, and he's got some growing up to do. And that's a fact. I don't think that's that is what it is. I think if he gets his head to a space where he should be, I think he could be good. But, it was the same thing with Johnny Manziel, right? Johnny Manziel was a fucking clown for a person. He wants to come back out now and say, oh, it was all the Cleveland Browns' fault. No, motherfucker, you were the one sneaking off to fucking Vegas under a fucking alias. You didn't want to put in the fucking work, and now fucking 10 years later, you want to come back and blame Cleveland. It was all fucking you stupid fuck. And all you got to do is listen to a fucking Hall of Fame left tackle who was willing to put in the work and basically said, no, this kid had every opportunity. He fucking spoiled it. You know what? I'm going to believe Joe Thomas before I believe some piece of fuck Johnny Manziel.
Make sure that you get all your feelings out on that one.
Well, I mean, what more can you say about this? This guy wants to, it's like he did his little Netflix documentary and he tried to blame Cleveland for his problems. Johnny Manziel's problems were Johnny Manziel. And, the guy would have failed the guy would have failed anywhere because of the fact that Johnny Manziel's problem were Johnny Manziel. And I think we all saw it when he was at A&M. The fact that he went in the first round, that tells you, I mean, the Cleveland Browns, I mean, I love the Browns, don't get me wrong. The Cleveland Browns front office for drafting him was fucking idiots in the first round. And I think, you want to say Shador is taken too high in the fifth. I would take the fifth rounder is a flyer. The odds of a fifth rounder doing anything in the NFL ever is slim. So realistically, to me, after about the fourth round, I mean, offensive linemen seem to have a decent hit rate at that point. Tight ends, occasionally some cornerbacks. Quarterbacks, basically, if you're not first, you're last, right? So I guess at that point, where was Shador? He was drafted in the fifth. They're like, hey, at this point, we want to get him on our roster. We want to see if he is anything. We're willing to take it at this point because we don't have anything we like here better. That's how the draft works in my eyes. Where do you have him rated at?
You had a
And Johnny
completely
Manziel
open
for
quarterback room.
what?
I said you had a wide open quarterback room. So you're looking for any talent whatsoever to just snag and throw it in there.
Well, we had traded for Kenny Pickett's, and of course he's in Vegas now backing up. We had just signed Joe Flacco basically to be Pickett's backup, and they drafted Dylan Gabriel kind of in the third, kind of as the hope of, hey, maybe this guy will work out. He's played a lot of NFL games, college football games. He's, there's a chance he could be good. I have heard reports that if he was 6'3" rather than 5'11", he was a first round pick, right? They don't like his height.
Nobody likes anybody under 6'3".
Right. But, Drew Brees is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback, right?
I think he already is.
Did he get in? I thought he still had a couple more years or another year or whatever. But regardless, height is only what you make of it. It's only a negative if you make it a negative, right? If you learn how to play with your height or within your height, you'll be fine. And so, anyways, taking Shador, it was a flyer. It was, hey, let's give it a chance. Why not? Why not us? Why not now? Maybe this guy works out. If he works out, he's the greatest. Probably the second best fifth round pick ever, right? If he works out, becomes starter for 10 years, he's the second greatest fifth round pick ever. If not, if he doesn't work at Tom Brady, duh.
I know, just giving you shit. Just have to make sure you throw it out there.
Yeah. So it's one of those things that it is what it is. Shador is going to get his chance to stay on the roster this year. He's going to get his chance to probably play a game if Dylan Gabriel, if they're not seeing what they like out of Gabriel, they'll give Shador a chance. If Gabriel goes out there, is competitive, wins some games, I'm not saying he has to win every game because that's illogical. But if he keeps you competitive in 90% of the games, you're always going to have a stinker. All quarterbacks do. But
I don't even think that he has to win. I don't think he has to win the games. I just think he has to put the stats up and keep them in a position to win.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to keep them competitive.
I don't think the losses will be hung on him if he's keeping them in the game by his play. Now, if he's making mistakes and throwing a bunch of interceptions and fumbling and not doing the plays that are called and not executing, then he's got to worry about losing the spot. But I think the Browns have accepted the fact that they got to put pieces around whatever quarterback they get, so they can't really hang the whole thing on the quarterback position.
Well, and I believe truly the Browns are building a good roster everywhere else. I really like their draft that they had. I think they're going to be starting like 8 rookies throughout most of the year. I think Carson Schlesinger is going to be the defensive rookie of the year. The guy is a stud. They picked up Isaiah Bond as a free agent because he had those legal issues that got dropped. Um, he's guy could have been a second rounder. We got him for nothing. Quinshon Jenkins, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with that. They dropped all charges on him. I don't know how you punish someone who has been, the fight is you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. The prosecutor's going to figure out a way to prove that he is guilty, so that means he's innocent, right? But the NFL, in the public opinion, they're not going to see it that way. Harold Fanta Jr. is a stud. That guy, he's a hell of a tight end. He's going to just continue to make this team better.
So there is a future in Cleveland, huh? Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
you
thought
go.
you were going to say something more than that. I mean, that's like, yes, there's a future. I don't know what's going to happen next year. Deshaun should be healthy, and he still has a year under contract. And unfortunately, we do not really have the money to get rid of him because his contract was so fucking retarded. Carson Wentz leaving the field, so they might be going Minnesota might be going to their third string quarterback here. Carson Wentz just went back to the locker room. So,
who is their third string quarterback?
Brosmer is who they are showing on the screen right now.
Well, here's his shot. Here's his
yeah.
Any given Sunday. He's getting his any given Sunday
That's
moment.
Right.
Hopefully, Al Pacino can get him in the right direction on this, thrown up on the sideline. So we do have big college football news. Have you noticed that? We didn't get to talk about it last week.
It hooked me up. What we got?
LSU lost.
Well, how many teams?
Texas lost too, but we're talking about LSU.
Yeah. How many teams in CF in the College Football Bowl Series haven't lost at this point, though? And let's be honest, when we were in high school, and I'd say even college, like if you lost in the regular season, you were done. You didn't have a chance at the national championship 25 years ago. That's changed now. Anymore, the way they've set up these conferences, a loss isn't as big of a deal. As far as I know, Vandy is still undefeated, though. So go Vandy.
Vandy just lost to Bama.
Well, there we go. I guess
Vandy lost yesterday to Bama. The two 5-0 teams, the only two 5-0 teams that were left, played each other. I don't know how it turned out because I didn't pull the scores up, but the last final two 5-0 teams played. One of them still undefeated. One of them is not.
That's usually how that works.
I will go to the Google machine.
I probably watched as much college football yesterday as I have.
See what we come up with.
My daughter is planning on going to UNL here next year, and so I have actually. And now that I actually work in Nebraska, and I work with it.
That can't be right. That's following week 3.
Nice pass. Beautiful to Chief. Over double coverage. That was, I don't know if we can get rights to show a play. But man, this was a beautiful pass to David Njoku. Dumped it right in over the cornerback. The Chief is a hell of a tight end too. I hope if we can keep Chief and Harold Fanta Jr., I think our tight ends are going to be amazing. I think that's going to be a winner. I was just going on about Dylan Gabriel making a beautiful pass to Chief.
So the tight end coach is doing their job?
Yeah. And one thing that Cleveland has done right most years when Kevin Stefanski's kind of been in control of the offense is they run a lot of the zone read, or not zone read, but like the outside zone, which opens up passing games, especially to tight ends. So yeah, we've had a lot of good luck with tight ends. So we got 25 seconds left in the half, and we got the
You had
ball
Njoku for a
with it
while, didn't you?
inside our 20. Well, yeah, that's Chief. He's still there. So they got a screen up right now. 6 Oklahoma quarterbacks between 2015 and 2023 are starting today. So it's funny how Oklahoma's really become Oklahoma, like QBU, really, when it comes down to it. They got a they're doing something right down there in Oklahoma. That was a weird play.
So since we're on the football, I wanted to throw out some of our favorite places that we used to go. I'm going to share a screen. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but currently the old Buffalo Wild Wings is the number one place to go watch football and eat wings in Iowa, I believe. It's got that the number one spot, and I'm not quite sure I'm sold on it having that number one spot anymore. So I did some looking because everybody thought that I was crazy, but the sauces have changed, and they changed a while ago. When it first came out, like mango habanero was down below spicy garlic, and it was in the low to mid range, right? And now it's number 3 on
Okay.
the heat scale. And I've ever since that moved up there, the sauces, the original sauces, the new ones are pretty good, but the original sauces have gone to hell. And I think their chicken quality has gone down.
Well, I'd say this. I usually, if I'm going to Buffalo Wild Wings, I get the Asian Zing. I've tried the others. I like the Asian Zing. It's still it brings a good amount of spice to it. It's not so hot that it like burns your mouth and you can't taste it, but it has a good amount of spice. I like it. It's good. Um, as far as chicken quality goes, I think overall restaurant quality, most of them have gone downhill. Like especially the like the brand name restaurants, whatever you'd want to call them,
The
Buffalo
chain
Wild
restaurants.
Wings, yeah, yeah, the chain restaurants. I think overall the quality has mostly gone downhill for them. Uh, that I think that's the bypass of everything costs so fucking much anymore to do. Uh, I just, I mean, real honestly, I haven't been impressed lately with restaurants. Like we used to go to Village Inn a lot to eat. They've changed their menu. My favorite breakfast is gone. Like we'd only go for breakfast really. We never hit it. It was never like a lunch spot or any shit like that. Uh, but their breakfast isn't as good as I thought it used to be. Uh, we tried Cracker Barrel a month ago and it was terrible. I mean, the cinnamon roll thing was good, but other than that, the breakfast was kind of gross. Uh, Amy got like a breakfast steak, and it looked like they just boiled it. Didn't have any like char on the outside. It looked fucking disgusting. Uh, I think overall quality has gone downhill in chain restaurants, except for Fazoli's, which I still love. A twice baked ziti.
So you named 3 restaurants that I don't remember the last time I ever ate at. I I don't think I've ever stepped foot in a Fazoli's. I think I've had Cracker Barrel once, and Village Inn was probably the last time I ate that was when we were still in the apartment. It's been a while.
Well,
Definitely been a while on those.
and I would say Village Inn is like a direct comparison to Perkins. We don't have a Perkins in Council Bluffs. We have Village Inn, so that's what we. I mean, if I wanted to go out and get Perkins, I'd have to go to Omaha to do it. Uh, I think we had more than one time we ate Perkins at 2 in the morning in Des Moines.
Yeah, we've had lots of Perkins in Des Moines and Newton. So, I think around about 2012, I think, is when the sauce changed at the B Dubs, right? The Buffalo Wild Wings, and that's when I also think that we started losing the other like football restaurants where they started go down a little bit, and then the pandemic almost knocked uh, one of them completely out. The only other players that you have right now in the wing sitting down and drinking and going out, in my opinion, is you got Twin Peaks. So
Yeah,
Twin Peaks
honestly,
has you've never what,
I've
sir?
never ate at I've never ate at Twin Peaks. If I have, I don't remember. So it's one of those things that anymore, I guess wings are so fucking expensive that I get pissed off. And unless I can buy a bag and make them myself at a decent price, I don't do wings.
Well, they're boneless wings by basically their chicken nuggets. Their boneless wings are definitely better than Buffalo Wild Wings by far. They're some of the best ones that I've had. The rest of their menu though leaves a lot to be desired. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, I usually only get the wings. They need a little work on their fries because they're pretty bland. But the rest of their menu, it looks pretty appetizing, and everybody that I go with seems to enjoy it. Where at Twin Peaks, it's I their burgers are just bland. They have really no taste to them at all. I heard their fish tacos are good, but that's not something that you'd go out usually to get. Their beer's great. I'll give them that. Great beer, good atmosphere. But Twin Peaks to me is they're getting some notoriety. They're getting, bigger every year, but nothing is going to beat Hooters. Hooters to me is still the best restaurant to go watch football at, eat wings, but they're going away. Their model and their advertising and stuff like that hasn't adapted to the new clientele that's out there, and the people that were keeping them in business in the younger years are getting older and they don't go out as much. They haven't adapted to the new post pandemic style of delivery food and trying to figure out that whole market. And they're not getting the foot traffic that they used to because of the other restaurants like Twin Peaks and Tilted Kilt and stuff like that. But by far, in my opinion, they have the better sauces, the better wings, the better sandwiches, everything.
I'm not a huge fan of Hooters. Let's be honest. The only reason I ever went there before was because uh, the atmosphere.
At
Uh,
the restaurant style.
I I I I never thought their food was that fucking good. It just isn't. It's not that good. If I never eat at Hooters again, I'm not going to be sad.
And I try to find a Hooters every time I go somewhere because I love their sauces and I love their uh, buffalo shrimp. So I don't know. I
Yeah, I
can't get
just
sold
let
on.
I there's one, maybe it's just a local one. I don't know. I've been to it a couple times and it's just the food hasn't been appealing to me. I admit I'm not a person that loves chicken wings as it is. I like making my own. But honestly, I there's so many better pieces of chicken that if the chicken wing was still fucking priced properly, yeah, sure, I'd probably fucking buy some wings anymore. But when you're telling me the price of a chicken wing is basically the same amount as the fucking thigh or the fucking breast, fuck off. Your sauce ain't that fucking good.
You need to start hitting the fairways around here because they run hell of a deals on the big ass drumsticks and stuff around here, and you can turn them into large, oversized wings real fucking quick.
Yeah, well, and that's
So
the funny thing about chicken. That's the funny thing about chicken anymore. You can go to a store and you can get chicken hind ends, which is the leg and thigh, for fucking next to nothing. It feels like they're paying you to take them. Uh, it's so especially if they're the one like where they're still connected. They haven't spent any money disconnecting them. They got the skin on them. Like it's crazy to me what people are charging for wings. Like, it's almost fucking criminal. Like I said, if I'm not buying them at Sam's where I'm buying that at like fucking 12-pound bag for a decent price, I don't fucking buy them. You go to like Hy-Vee and you buy a package of fucking wings and they're fucking $4 a pound or some bullshit. It's like, no, this is a fucking chicken wing.
There's hardly any meat on them anyway.
Yeah,
They're more of a novelty.
Yes.
So, but before we because I'm about to kick us off the wing thing, I just have to get this out. One more thing about Buffalo Wild Wings, and I really normally don't do this kind of thing, but the Buffalo Wild Wings on Merle Hay Road in Des Moines, Iowa, needs to be shut the fuck down. It is such a piece of shit restaurant. The servers are rude. The food is shit. I don't think they've ever put out a decent meal out of there, ever. In the handful of times that I've gone, I've never heard anybody say anything good about it, and management really needs to investigate that store and get it back on track. So, that's enough of my Buffalo Wild Wings. Every other one I've been to has been good. Every other one.
I'll say this. Bad stores are bypass of bad management. I do believe that. If the manager is not enforcing the proper, the proper attitudes, and part of it might be the manager so shitty that people just come in with a bad attitude, right? The other thing is, I will say this, I think Buffalo Wild Wings is the one that actually is adjusting to the times. I know near my work, they have a Buffalo Wild Wings to go restaurant. It does have a few tables in there if you want to sit down and eat, but I bet 90% of their sales are people picking up lunch and taking it home, or fucking DoorDash or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think that's the market that more and more places are going to. Say what now?
I said they're not dropping off as much in their walk-ins as much as everybody else, because their walk-in clientele does not hang as much on the gimmicks and the showmanship and the restaurant style stuff. They're more sports oriented, and they have the TVs, and that's what you go there for, is for the sports and the bar side of it. So they've dropped off, but they haven't dropped off like everybody else. Their to-go menu is what's driving, them to keep accelerating. I think you're right in the fact that more and more places are going to ghost kitchens and delivery services. Like even the Pizza Hut that came back finally to Newton is a small ghost kitchen, basically. There's nowhere to sit down. It's all to-go orders. And that's, ever since the pandemic, that's the new style of things. It's pretty much killing the dine-in restaurants.
Well, and I tell you what, to me, what's killing part of the dine-in restaurants is the new expectations on tips. Like 20%, I'm fine tipping 20% if fucking service is good. I'll go above 20% if I think service is good. But like, and I feel bad. Like, so last weekend we went to Village Inn, we ate breakfast, we went grocery shopping after that. We didn't even get a fucking water refill from our fucking server. And it's like, I feel bad because I know these servers aren't getting paid shit. Because that's how the fucking restaurant model works, is the waitresses don't get paid shit. So I feel like I need to still fucking tip something. But now the other thing is, it used to be back in the day, everything was, paper receipts, right? Well, now everything's fucking electronic. So you could, like, if you felt like you got shitty service, like, I would be like, yeah, here's your shitty ass tip, do better. I would have had no problem tipping you, but your service sucks, so I'm not tipping for shitty service. But now with electronics, you can't even leave the fucking message like that. So then you just look like a fucking asshole. They're probably going back to the kitchen. Oh, that son of a bitch brought in him and his wife and his $2, and I only got a $4 tip on a fucking $60 meal. Well, you weren't worth the $4 I tipped you. So yeah, I think that's part of the problem too. Is go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Keep running.
Yeah, Like I said, I mean, I think that's part of the problem with the with the restaurant model is that the fucking owners don't fucking pay people. Kind of like, they don't. They don't pay the fucking waitresses, so everybody is reliant on tips. You know what? Charge me an extra fucking $3 per meal and pay these fucking people. That way I don't have to feel like I need to fucking be set some fucking standard. And it's like I see these TikToks where like, oh, you couldn't tip me 20%. You shouldn't afford. You can't if you can't afford to tip me 20%. You can't afford to go out. No, fuck you. This is the problem with your ownership, not the fucking clientele. And if you want to treat the clientele like they're being cheap asses because they don't want to fucking tip you, that's your own fucking fault. That's the owner's fault. That's not our fault. If it says it's a $15 meal and I pay the $15, and then you expect me to give you an additional $4 on top of that, you know what? Then just make it a $19 meal. Go out as a waitress and tell your managers, hey, I need to be paid more. Go in and say, hey, we need to be paid more so the people don't have to tip. Do it like that. Fucking back in the fucking bar age, the fucking waitresses made as much as the fucking bartenders and the bouncers at the one we worked at. It was bullshit. And I used to call him on that bullshit because remember, he used to be like, hey, we need you guys fucking emptying ashtrays. And I was like, fuck no. I said, pay me more. I said, I'm not getting any tips. I'm getting paid exactly the same as the waitresses and the bartenders are per hour. I said, I'm not getting any tips. If you want me cleaning up their fucking tables, they need to fucking tip me out at the end of the night. And that didn't get done. So you know who did fucking clear out ashtrays? Me. You know who did pick up beer bottles? Me. You know why? Because I wasn't getting paid for that.
Good shit. So we went to a Burger Shed yesterday. Have you ever been to Burger Shed?
Never even heard of it.
All right. Well, it's in Altoona, right next to the Bass Pro and the Outlet Mall. It's been there a few years, but the layout in there, is you walk down a corridor where you can either go upstairs with the elevator or stairs, or you walk into the bar section that has the high top tables in the middle, the big square ones. And we got seated right up against the next section, which has a wall there. And then the booths are on the other side of that. Well, our waiter, he wasn't horrible by any means, right? But he had the problem of serving from the wrong side because it's closer for him. And as he sat down the first round of food, he set it down on my left, which is right next to the main walkway, which is fine. We had 2 appetizers sitting there, so that side of the table is now full. Well, every time he brought a refill or he brought the main course, he tried serving over top of that stuff instead of taking the 5 steps around to go to the wide open section and set it down in front of you, right? That to me is not great service by any means. That's where your tip comes into play. A good server would know you don't make the guest work and move their plates and take them from you and lift them and set them over. They could be hot, whatever. So we get to the end of the meal and they got those new Palm Pilot things. They got the new Palm Pilot things where they just walk up and they stick your card into it and it automatically kicks up a percentage for you to select on your tip, right? And it started at 18%. 18, 22, and 26 were the options that it gave us, which is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry, but if my bill is $70, $60, I don't owe you 20% of that. I don't. You don't even, like 10%. I understand is a low tipping now, 10% is, but still, $70 bill, that's $7 for giving me half-ass service anymore because nobody goes above and beyond on the service in chain restaurants anymore. You rarely ever see it because everybody just tips. But it was a decent meal. We got out of there for a reasonable under $80 barely, but for 2 people, that ain't horrible. But it's like when you put an automatic gratuity on, and you're charging people to pay your workers, basically, and then you get mad at them when they don't add an extra tip is also ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. If you're telling me straight up, hey, this is going to get charged if you were a party of X, I'm not adding a fucking tip. You have already set the tip, But I mean, here's the other thing. Look, I'm not trying to sound like a cheap ass. Like, I'll fucking tip if you give me good service and I think you're fucking taking care of me and you're spending some time on me. Absolutely, I will tip. But if I'm not getting a fucking water refill, fuck, I'll give you the bare minimum because I feel bad for you because I know that you're not getting shit for pay. Like, to me, the rest, everything about the food industry is fucked. I'll be honest about that. I really do believe that. You have truck drivers that have to break down and sort all of the fucking deliveries going to the food warehouses. You got the drivers for the food warehouses that have to fucking hand unload all the fucking boxes and take them into the restaurants. You know, it's weird. I am very against the food industry anymore just because I think they are stuck in the fucking stone age when it comes to supply chain. Like, if restaurants and food industries could get their supply chains figured out, it would bring down the cost of everything. But they're so archaic with their fucking setup that there's money lost in everything they do. I said that was not pass interference. Fucking, if they're going to fly refs over to fucking Europe, they can at least fly over good refs. So, one, you got anything more on food industry, or have my rants gone far enough on this shit? I'm probably going to get food spat in.
What's gone far enough, sir?
You got any more restaurants to talk about at this point? That was a nice pitch catch. I don't know if Kobe knows this or not, but we're going to call this an episode of Frosty Dingy. Thanks for joining us. Catch you next time.
There he is. Figured that was coming. Figured that part was coming. So I know we're being a little bit hard on the restaurant industry right now, but that is one of the hardest industries to make a go at it because your margins are so small. That's why the servers don't get paid quite what they deserve to be. Some places do, some places don't. That's why they rely on the tips. The restaurant side makes usually around 6% on a full service restaurant for overall profit. If it's more of a fast casual quick turnover chain restaurant, they make around 9% to 12%. And then pizza places are, believe it or not, the most profitable because their food costs are lower, and they're usually around 15 to 20% is what they can roll out on that. So a lot of that is because of the cost of the goods. I mean, you go to the grocery store right now, everything's expensive. It's that way for the restaurants as well, which is eating up a lot of the family mom and pop restaurants and the sit down dining ones. That's why everybody's going to the takeout mode, because their overhead costs go down a lot and they don't have to pay labor costs. And that's how they can still offer the service to begin with. You see a lot of food trucks popping up, and that's because they trade off the overhead and the brick and mortar side of it and the constant utilities, and they get a better return on their investment and a little bit more profitability. I'm going to look up and see what their cost is on a food truck profit margin. Yeah, so most of them fall into like a pizza place where it's 6 to 15% range, but there's a lot of them, depending on what they serve, that are in the 25 to 35 range, and it's mostly because your labor costs are down, because it's usually an owner operator that's running it with one, maybe two other employees, and they don't have the utilities and the brick and mortar to worry about. You usually only get the licenses and the fees like that on where you want to set up. So I know we were pretty hard on servers and the tipping and like that, but it is a tough industry anymore, and the cost of goods are what's driving it out. But I am against the automatic gratuity on checks. I mean, your servers aren't going to get anything usually over top of whatever the percentage is, because people get angry at the fact that you're being forced to pay the tip no matter how the service is. It's like tip me or die of thirst is one of those pens that I saw on the chest of a waitress at my local family diner when I was in high school and elementary school, and she worked there for years, and that was her favorite button. And I believe her son now has a food truck, which is even funnier because they've stayed in the food industry. But I mean, she was a great person, but that button always caught me a little bit off. Like, maybe you should just focus on your service to get the tips. I understand it was a funny button, but still, there's a lot of people out there that do not see the irony in that. They think they're entitled to money no matter what kind of service that they give people, and we need to work on that a little bit. I believe some restaurants stay in business in the tight economy just simply by their employees. Like, if you get good bartenders, good waitresses, very helpful staff, you're gonna, every time somebody wants to go out, they're gonna go back to that restaurant for the service. And I think a lot of restaurants forget that aspect, and they just don't hold their workers to a set standard or make them accountable for a lot of what they do. I just need to get that little bit out there. But I will also say that no matter what Wes thinks at all, this will always be my favorite restaurant, my favorite food. I could care less what the people in there were wearing. I was there to eat their 3 Mile Island sauce and their hot buffalo sauce. And every time I'm anywhere remotely close to a Hooters, I will be there because I love their food. Their fries, yes, their fries could, as long as you get the one that's completely curly, not the little half curls, they're fucking awesome. I love them. I don't even put anything on them, just a little salt, and they are the best fries in the world. But you get the ones that aren't the complete spirals. They get a little crispy, they get a little crunchy, they taste a little bland, but I still love them. I love they have the best chicken sandwich I've ever had. Their wing sandwich is fucking awesome. Their burgers are good. But like every restaurant, I'm sure there's bad ones somewhere. Like the Buffalo Wild Wings on Merle Hay Road in Des Moines is the worst restaurant I've ever been to in my life. And I'm going to keep saying that until somebody does something about it, because it's a great building layout. It looks nice on the inside. Service and the food are crap. Not a fan. The doctor has wrapped it up on his end, and he has decided he is going to finish watching the Browns-Vikings game, especially right after that nice red zone score of Dylan Gabriel to Njoku. To put them back on top, he is going to focus on the game. So that should be about the end of it. If you are an up-and-coming social media person, or you like Call of Duty with the new Black Ops 7 coming out, or Battlefield, or any of the other streaming games that are out there, feel free to hit us up if you feel like you would like to be on a podcast, and we will see if your content fits with what we're trying to do here. Also, we're looking for authors, or, well, pretty much anybody that's out there trying to get started like we are. We want to work with people to help grow both sides of it. So if you feel like you have good topics and good things you'd like to address, hit me up. Leave me a comment, hit me in the DMs or whatever, and we will take a look at your content, see if you'd be a good fit, maybe toss around some ideas and how we can help each other on collaborations on social media or on a podcast. So that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for joining.